Steve Rogers would absolutely hate Sam Wilson as Captain America. Yeah, I said it. You might be thinking, wait, didn't Steve literally choose Sam to take up the mantle?
Like it's someone else's.
It isn't.
I'll do my best.
That's why it's yours.
Sure, but if he could see just how Sam's handling the role now, he'd be fuming. From epic fight scenes to modern ideals, we're breaking down why Sam Wilson is not just a worthy successor, but an upgrade to the Captain America legacy. Buckle up, because we're about to expose why Sam Wilson's Captain America is everything Steve Rogers never could be. When it comes to comparing Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson as Captain America, it's like putting two completely different philosophies side by side. Steve Rogers, the original Cap, was all about unwavering idealism. His worldview was pretty much black and white. People were either good or bad, and his mission was always clear-cut. Rogers always knew what he was fighting for. Even when he went against the government in the Winter Soldier and Civil War, it wasn't because he doubted his own sense of right and wrong. Steve's moral clarity made him a symbol of hope, but it also made him a bit rigid and uncompromising. He wasn't one to see the gray areas in a complex world. Sam Wilson, on the other hand, sees those shades of gray clearly. As a former para-rescue operative and veteran counselor, he knows that good intentions don't always lead to good outcomes. In Captain America: Brave New World, Sam deals with political intrigue and moral ambiguity in ways Steve might have struggled with.
You're not Steve Rogers.
You're right. I'm not.
Steve would probably hate the way Sam handles things, seeing it as compromising the Shield's ideals. But Sam's realism and adaptability make him more suited to handle modern threats. One perfect example of this is during the helicarrier fight in the Winter Soldier. While Steve is focused on stopping Hydra, Sam's thinking on his feet, using his wings and combat skills to neutralize threats efficiently. That kind of tactical brilliance sets him apart as a leader. But Sam's greatest strength isn't just his strategy, it's his humanity. Steve Rogers, despite his heroic nature, always felt a bit detached from everyday struggles, like a man out of his own time. Sam, however, is grounded in his community. His empathy and willingness to connect with ordinary people make him relatable and real. In Brave New World, we see him working on grassroots issues, showing that being Captain America isn't just about fighting global threats, but also about serving those who need him most. Even during the Leipzig battle in Civil War, Sam fights out of loyalty and a desire to do what's right, rather than out of pure duty or vengeance. That balance between duty and compassion makes him a more nuanced leader. Sam also brings a fresh fighting style to the role. Steve was all about brute force and shield work, but Sam's aerial combat skills and use of technology add a whole new layer to his approach. In Brave New World, he combines his Falcon abilities with the shield, creating dynamic and innovative fighting techniques. Steve might see relying on tech as a weakness, but Sam's versatility makes him better equipped for modern challenges. Finally, Sam understands that the shield's legacy has to evolve. For Steve, the shield was about unwavering justice. For Sam, it's about acknowledging the past while moving toward a more inclusive future. In Brave New World, when he defeats an enemy embodying America's darker history, he doesn't just win the fight, he reclaims the shield as a symbol of hope and progress.
You want me? Come and get me!
That willingness to confront the past while forging a new path is what makes Sam Wilson not just a successor to Steve Rogers, but a Captain America for the present day. Now, we could clearly see that their personalities were quite different, but what about their fighting style? Who's superior? Before we move on to the next section, please don't forget to subscribe if you like the video so far. Let's be real, Steve Rogers was great and all, but Sam Wilson is out here proving that you don't need super soldier serum to kick some serious butt. If we're talking pure fighting skill and strategy, Sam's got Steve beat, no question. Let's start with the Winter Soldier. Sure, Steve's out there being all patriotic and superhuman, but Sam? My guy's free-falling through gunfire with nothing but his wings and some serious guts. He's taking on Hydra agents mid-air, dodging missiles like he's playing 4D chess, while Steve's just over there chucking his shield and punching people. Imagine Steve trying to do that. Yeah, no. He'd need a parachute, an oxygen mask, and probably a therapist after. Meanwhile, Sam's out here looking like he was born for aerial combat. He's literally fighting in 3 dimensions while Steve's stuck on the ground throwing haymakers. Now, let's jump to Civil War. This one's a no-brainer. While Steve's out there going toe-to-toe with Tony Stark like they're in a heavyweight boxing match, Sam's flying rings around Spider-Man without even touching the ground. And don't forget Red Wing, Sam's got a drone doing half the work for him while he's still the smartest guy in the fight. When War Machine's about to take out Cap's squad, guess who's perfectly positioned to react? Yeah, that's right, Sam. Sure, Tony blasts him out of the way, but the fact remains. Sam's thinking 10 steps ahead, while Steve's just punching his way through problems like always. Then there's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Steve had the serum and the biceps to back it up, but Sam? He's just a regular dude who's got enough guts and skill to go up against super soldiers without breaking a sweat. He even took on Batroc, who gave Steve a run for his money back in the day and held his own. Plus, he totally outmaneuvered John Walker, a guy hopped up on super soldier juice, proving that brains and tactical thinking win over brute strength every time.
You don't want to do this. Yeah, we do.
Honestly, Steve would probably hate this because it shows that maybe he wasn't all that special. If Sam can do what Steve did without the serum, then what does that say about Captain America 1.0? Finally, Brave New World just seals the deal. Sam's fully in his element, fighting superhuman enemies, mixing aerial moves with his shield work, and generally looking like an absolute badass. Steve may have been about power and shield flinging, but Sam? He's blending agility, tech, and pure combat expertise like it's second nature, and he's doing it without the luxury of superpowers. Let's be honest, Sam's not just carrying the legacy, he's making it better. Steve might have been strong, but Sam's smart, strategic, and unpredictable. He's the better fighter hands down. All of this is kind of the reason Rogers would hate Wilson as Captain America. Steve Rogers would absolutely hate Sam Wilson as Captain America, and it's not because Sam's doing a bad job. It's because Sam's basically living proof that everything Steve thought made him special doesn't really matter anymore. I mean, Steve's whole thing was being a super soldier, a guy who could bench press a car and take a punch from a metal-armed assassin without flinching. He wore that serum like a badge of honor. But then, along comes Sam Wilson, just a regular dude with wings and a whole lot of guts, proving that being Captain America isn't just about being superhuman. It's about being smart, adaptable, and actually understanding people. Steve would probably just stare at him like, wait, you can do that without a serum? Seriously? And let's not forget how they fight. Steve was basically a human wrecking ball. His idea of strategy was just to run straight at danger and hope his shield did the rest. Sam, he's out there flying, dodging, and using Red Wing to take down enemies without even breaking a sweat. Steve would be stuck on the ground, punching his way through problems like always, while Sam's up in the air thinking 3 steps ahead. It's like Steve's playing checkers and Sam's out here playing 4D chess. You just know Steve would be grumbling about how, back in his day, heroes didn't need fancy gadgets and wings. But here's the kicker. Sam's version of Captain America actually makes more sense in today's world. Steve was all about that old school black and white justice. Punch the bad guys, save the day, go grab some shawarma. But Sam knows things are way messier now. Sometimes saving the day means dealing with real-world issues and helping people directly, not just fighting supervillains. Steve would probably think that's a distraction from the real hero stuff, but honestly, Sam's got the right idea. In the end, it's not that Sam's a bad Captain America. It's that he's a better Captain America, one who doesn't just rely on brute strength and outdated ideals. And that's gotta hurt Steve's pride just a little. Steve Rogers may have picked Sam Wilson as his successor, but deep down, he probably hates seeing just how much better Sam is at being Captain America. Sam's faster, smarter, and more tactical, doing things Steve never could, doing them without superpowers. The fight scenes make it clear. Sam's the real deal. Steve might feel a little bitter, realizing that the world doesn't need another super soldier. It needs a hero who can adapt and lead without relying on brute strength. But what do you think? Was Sam really the right choice, or would Steve have picked differently if he knew? Let us know in the comments below. Here's another video movie junkies enjoyed watching. Bye for now.